2004. A broke college student is in his dorm room, with pockets near empty and dreams bigger than anyone else. This unsuspecting college prodigy orchestrates a digital revolution, crafting the most extensive social network the world has ever witnessed.
Shit, that looks good. That looks really good. Clean and simple. No Disneyland, no live new girls. Watch. Ain't you right? Relationship status. Interested in. This is what drives life at college. Are you having sex or aren't you? It's why people take certain classes and sit where they sit and do what they do when at some center. You know, that's what the Facebook is going to be about. People are going to log on because after all the cake and watermelon, there's a chance they're actually going to get laid. Meet a girl.
Propelling into the elite circle of the youngest self-made billionaires. As demand for a stake in his creation surged, everyone clamored for a piece of his shares. Day and night, driven by a powerful passion, tirelessly working to upend the fabric of human connection, forever altering the way we engage, share, and discover. With an unshakable, ambitious dream to destroy the walls that separate us, altering the very being of human interaction for all eternity, he became the legend known as the Alien Tech Titan. A college life of parties, girls, and blurry nights, he didn't want any of it. In the isolation of his dorm room with nothing but his thoughts for company, he pursued his passion with resolved determination. He wanted just one thing:
to revolutionize a code that would transform the way of how we connect with the world forever.
Lost in thought, lit only by the glow of his computer screen, sipping a beer to quiet his restless thoughts. Despite his recent breakup and loneliness, he stayed steadfast, inspired by a great ambition to resist those who had labeled him antisocial. He poured his soul into his job, ready to leave his impact on the world, driven by a burning ambition to create something special. Mark pondered the potential impact of his concept on campus life. He imagined people gathering, discussing the latest news, and his idea growing into something far bigger than he had imagined. It wasn't only about creating a website, it was also about leaving a lasting impression on the world. In a frenzy of excitement, he dove headfirst into the abyss, hacking into the inner sanctuary of Harvard University's databases. He was well aware of the hazards involved, as well as the fact that he was entering the muddy legal ground, but the excitement of doing something audacious and extraordinary proved irresistible. He navigated the system with lightning-fast reflexes, his heart pumping and his fingers dancing across the keys, motivated by an uncompromising ambition to push the boundaries and carve out his position in the world. He embodied the spirit of a true doer, a beacon of inspiration to all young entrepreneurs, and a reminder that opportunities come to those who dare to seize them. Making bold and courageous decisions, he worked day and night, persistent in his pursuit to overcome the odds and achieve his vision of a better future. Through thick and thin, he held on to his dream with unwavering resolve, proving that anything is possible when you set your mind to it. His thoughts raced with infinite possibilities. He had a treasure mine of images from online Facebook in his hands, each one a window into the human soul, begging to be molded into something remarkable. All his friends filed in, drawn by the promise of something genuinely extraordinary. He presented his vision for Face Mash. His voice sparks with the excitement of a man poised for greatness. The room was filled with electric energy at that moment, a tangible enthusiasm that signaled the start of a new age. He sensed that his circle of friends didn't quite share his passion for Face Mash, except for one person, his closest and most loyal friend, Eduardo. He believed that with Eduardo's help, they could take Face Mash to dizzying new heights and make it the talk of the town on campus. The website caused a frenzy on campus, with students excitingly rating one another and becoming caught in a tornado of gossip and conflict. Despite the rising criticism, Mark felt an electrifying rush he'd never had before. Hooked on the excitement of creating something that had such a lasting impact on the college community. From the ashes of FaceMash, a thirst for more awakened within him. Power, recognition, an unbreakable drive to prove his worth. Determined to leave his mark on history, this young dreamer would soon rise to the challenge, proving beyond doubt that he was destined to become the real deal. At that moment, some might have been content to simply let the conversation drift away, forgotten and unremarkable. But not Mark. He was driven by a relentless sense of purpose, a burning desire to create something that would leave an undeniable mark on the world. Sometimes in life we face challenges and setbacks that seem impossible. We may feel broken, defeated, and lost. But the beauty of our ideas is that they live within us, an unbreakable spirit that cannot be crushed. Our ideas are our lifeblood, the very essence of who we are and what we believe in. And no matter what comes our way, we must hold on to them, for they have the power to change our lives and the world around us. He knew that his idea was the driving force that would propel him to success, and that no setback, no matter how daunting, could destroy the power of his vision. He rushed to his dorm room, fueled by a determination to bring his idea to life and change the world forever. The seed of an idea grew in his head, and he realized that this was the moment when the epiphany of Facebook as we know it today first came to reality. As he shared his idea with Eduardo, the excitement was obvious, and they both felt they could alter the whole world one click at a time. With sex, relationships, gossip, and drama dominating people's social lives, he dreamed of a better way to make them connect with each other. Determination fueled his heart, and a fire burned within his belly as he embarked on a transformative journey, from a humble Harvard dorm room to the empire of the digital era. In his Harvard hideaway, a big change was coming.
Welcome to Facebook.
On February 4th, 2004, Mark revealed his masterpiece, the Facebook. The groundbreaking invention that forever transformed the way people connect, revolutionizing the realm of communication for the better. It's often said that when you think you've achieved, the true challenges begin. Mark recognized this fact and never looked away from his computer screen, driven to create something better. He rolled up his sleeves and began his mission. He worked tirelessly, implementing new features and policies that encouraged positive connections while reducing hostility. The road was difficult and praise was scant, but Mark remained persistent in his determination to make thefacebook.com a beacon of kindness in the world. As thefacebook.com expanded in popularity, Mark and Eduardo found themselves at the heart of a hurricane of economic opportunities. Investors recognized the site's potential to be much more than a student networking tool, and they began knocking with offers of collaboration and partnership. Mark rose to the occasion, seizing control of the fast-expanding firm and establishing a position of leadership that would drive him to even greater heights. In the blink of an eye, Mark and Eduardo had become the talk of the town, basking in the limelight of their rapidly expanding company. They were on top of the world, with their names on everyone's lips. Little did he know that unexpected challenges awaited just around the corner, threatening to bring his empire crashing down and test his resilience in ways he never thought would be possible. Instantly achieving massive success, the Facebook rapidly grew into a global phenomenon with millions of users and billions of dollars in revenue. But as Mark's focus shifted towards expanding the platform and pleasing investors, he found himself losing touch with the original purpose of Facebook. With a growing army of vultures circling him, each wanting a piece of the pie, his dream of connecting the world was slowly being swallowed by the greed and corruption of the corporate world. Profits had rendered him oblivious to the individuals who used his platform. He had to decide between sticking to his values and surrendering to the lure of large money. The future of Facebook hung in the balance. In all this chaos, he forgot the only friend he ever truly had, Eduardo. During the Facebook.com's meteoric rise, Mark's once solid relationships began to crumble. As Facebook continued to grow, Sean Parker's influence within the company increased, and Mark Zuckerberg began to rely on him more and more. Parker's ideas for Facebook were bold and innovative, and he quickly became a major driving force behind the company's success. In the end, Parker's manipulation and scheming paid off, as Zuckerberg sided with him and threw Saberin under the bus, leaving him with a small percentage of the company and effectively closing the door on their friendship forever. Mark found himself questioning everything he once believed in, wondering if he had lost sight of the initial purpose behind the site. Was he still driven by a desire to connect with people, or was he getting sucked into a world of greed and ambition? As doubt swelled in his mind, Mark realized that he was losing sight of what mattered. As the dust settled, Mark realized that the price of his success was the loss of those closest to him. He had built an empire, but at what cost? He couldn't help but feel a sense of emptiness, a void that no amount of money or power could fill. Lost in sight of his original vision, he became consumed by the pursuit of wealth and fame. The future of Facebook was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Mark had lost himself along the way. And then, like a raging storm that refused to stop, the lawsuits came, one after other, like waves crashing onto the shore, threatening to wash away everything that Mark had built. The battles with lawyers, money, power, and stress, each one more intense than the last. The drama was never-ending, with accusations and counter-accusations flying back and forth like arrows in a fierce battle. The legal battles dragged on for months, each day more brutal and draining than the last. Mark spent countless hours poring over documents and conferring with his legal team, determined to emerge victorious. The stress and pressure began to take a toll on him, but he pushed through, driven by a fierce determination to defend his creation. An exhausting struggle that had taken a toll on him both physically and emotionally. But finally, on that fateful day of June 25, 2008, the world watched with bated breath as Mark stepped into the courtroom, his fate hanging in the balance. The tension in the room was palpable as the judge read out the settlement agreement. The Winklevoss twins and their partner glowered at Mark, seething with anger and frustration. The Winklevoss twins' claims were dismissed, and the Facebook.com was unequivocally recognized as Mark's original idea. It was a moment of vindication, a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, one can persevere and triumph. On that fateful day of June 25, 2008, he finally emerged victorious from a bitter legal dispute with the Winklevoss twins and their partner. After what felt like an eternity of legal wrangling and intense courtroom drama, a settlement of $65 million was reached, signaling an end to a tumultuous chapter in Facebook's history. Both sides had fought fiercely for their beliefs, but ultimately Mark emerged victorious with a settlement that allowed him to continue growing the Facebook.com without any further legal complications. Mentally and physically exhausted, he felt as if he had been going through a never-ending war. However, he knew that the real challenge was yet to come. As the Facebook.com continued to grow and expand, so did the scrutiny and criticism. He found himself constantly under attack, with every decision he made scrutinized and analyzed by the media and public. The pressure was unrelenting, and he knew that he must stay one step ahead if he wants to survive. The world was watching, waiting to see if he had what it took to turn his creation into a lasting legacy. He never could have imagined that one day he would find himself sitting in a courtroom, facing off against his best friend Eduardo Saberin. The thought of it filled him with a sense of dread, a heavy weight on his chest that never seemed to dissipate. As the lawsuits began to pile up, each one more intense and grueling than the last, Mark knew that he was in for the fight of his life. His world was crumbling as he stood in front of Eduardo, facing the aftermath of the lawsuit. The accusations of his wrongdoing were painful, but the realization that he had betrayed his closest friend was even more crushing. He felt a knot in his stomach, a heavy weight in his heart, and tears pricked at the corners of his eyes. He had let ambition and success get in the way of his humanity, and it was a bitter pill to swallow. As he looked into Eduardo's eyes, he saw the hurt and disappointment reflected on him, and he knew that he had to make things right, no matter the cost. The settlement was just a small part of the price he had to pay for his mistake. Who would have ever thought that the once inseparable duo would end up pitted against each other in a bitter legal battle? Who could have predicted that Mark would turn his back on his closest friend and shut Eduardo out of the company that they had both poured their hearts and souls into?
I was your only friend. Yet one friend.
Mark's heart shattered as he stared into Eduardo's eyes and heard the words, "I was your only friend." He recognized that his ambition and drive for achievement had blinded him to the significance of true friendship. As he attempted to find a way to put things right, the weight of remorse and regret fell heavy on his shoulders. He sought to persuade himself that he was still a good person, who had behaved in the best interests of the company's future success. But he knew deep down that his actions had cost him his only true friend. Finally, after weeks of legal battles, they settled for an undisclosed sum of money. He was relieved that the trial was over, but couldn't shake off the sense of loss and betrayal. He had lost a friend, and no amount of money could ever make up for that. As for Sean, his eyes widened in shock and disbelief as he watched the man he thought he could manipulate cut him off from the company with a decisive swipe of his pen. He had thought himself untouchable, his influence unshakable. Little did he know, he had underestimated the power of true conviction and determination, the very forces that made Facebook what it is today. Despite Facebook's success and Zuckerberg's immense wealth, the company was not immune to ongoing legal battles and disputes. Sean was the least of Mark's worries, as he was focused on overcoming the many obstacles that continued to stand in the way of Facebook's growth and success. With lawsuit after lawsuit, battle after battle, the platform seemed to be in a constant state of turmoil. He always found a way to navigate through the disloyal waters of corporate greed, betrayal, and power struggles, all while trying to protect his creation. It was a never-ending cycle of drama and stress, with no end in sight. In 2018, despite facing doubts and criticisms about his leadership, he refused to let his guard down. Facebook was accused of mishandling user data and allowing outside entities to interfere in elections. Yet, he stood firm and he faced the exhausting questioning head-on. Questioned by 44 senators and members of the House of Representatives, the hearing was broadcast live on national television and watched by millions of people around the world. Like a warrior, he showed his resilience and determination, using his alien-like abilities to navigate the complex world of politics and technology. Despite the odds, he managed to win this battle and come out even stronger. As the years went by, he began to see the world with new eyes. He realized that the challenges he faced were not merely obstacles to overcome, but opportunities for growth and development. He saw that the stress and strain of the battles had taken its toll on the team, causing many to feel overwhelmed and burnt out. With renewed purpose, he continues to charge ahead, never looking back. Conviction and perseverance can make anything possible. Remember, the only limits we have are the ones we place upon ourselves. Stay true to your vision and leave a mark that will change the world forever.